what's up, chicken butt? We're back. There's been a bit of a break because Dynamic has been sick and I have been lazy. I'm Sarky, and once again, it's Trump's talk. However, this week we're not talking Trumps. We're just talking because I cannot make a Trump steak out of the movie Dune. It's impossible. Nothing happens in this goddamn movie. None of the characters are interesting. I don't care about any of them. If we want to go back and make a deck about like the 80s Dune, no problem. I think we can absolutely do that. Because I vaguely know and can differentiate between the characters in that one. This one's fucking terrible. It's boring more than anything else.
I would go. I don't think it was terrible. I just don't think it was as good as I wanted it to be, it was meh.
It's the same with every other Denis Villeneuve movie. It looks spectacular. Doesn't make that much sense.
I haven't seen any of his other films. I've
seen a couple of them.
I want to watch his Blade Runner movie.
It looks spectacular. I'm not sure it makes a whole lot of sense.
The point in Blade Runner, though.
I
don't remember the first Blade Runner being that great of a story or anything. I remember
it's a very simple story. It's a manhunt story.
Yeah, but I just remember it looking cool for like a couple hours.
Denis Villeneuve, like every other one of his films, it looks pretty. I'm not sure it makes any goddamn sense. I don't think he is an actor's director in that he can't get a single damn actor to put out a good performance in pretty much anything.
I thought the acting was decent. I didn't mind the acting.
Yeah, I didn't like the acting.
No,
Timothée Chalamet seems like a plank of wood. I've never seen him in anything else. I don't know if he's phenomenal in other stuff. I heard he's really good in that King thing with Robert Pattinson.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it. I've heard he's really good in it. I'm sure he's good in other stuff, but he's a plank of fucking wood in this movie.
I disagree. I don't think any of the acting was like bad or anything. I thought it was all fine.
But that's where the directing's the problem then. Because if the acting's fine but it's still boring the tits off you, then it becomes a pacing and script issue.
Yeah, I think there is definitely sort of a pacing issue. 100%. I think there's a lot of stuff kept in that didn't... Like, they're walking about the desert for ages in this.
We should point out, we saw this in the cinema a couple of weeks ago. I went for a pee halfway through the movie because it seemed like it was an unending, just lasting forever. But it got to the halfway point and I thought, right, we're at the halfway point, I'll go and take a pee. I went to take a pee, I came back and the movie finished. Because this movie is part one.
Yeah, no, I think we need to speak about this. I genuinely... Is this like false advertising?
Well, it's not clear that it's part one until you go and see the damn thing.
No, because you've got like the bit at the start of the movie with like the black screen and it says the title of the movie and the age rating and stuff. I swear it said Dune. And then the movie starts and it's the movie's title and it says Dune Part 1.
Anyway, it's part one of presumably 2 parts. Dear God, don't make it 3 parts.
I think it's going to be 3 parts.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Give me a second. I'm doing some...
This movie was so goddamn long. It's like 2 hours 40. And almost fucking nothing happens in it. It's incredible. Zendaya is in like every advert. She's not in this goddamn movie.
Nah, she's not.
She appears in flashbacks silently, and then she's in like the last 10 seconds. That's it. And she is a plank faced. I don't know if she's supposed to be super hot. I don't know if she's supposed to be an incredible actress. The only other thing I've seen her in is Spider-Man.
She looks quite angry in this movie.
I saw her in Spider-Man. I thought she was funny. You know?
Yeah.
I thought she had good timing. She worked well with Tom Holland. I thought she was solid in that. I know that she can act, at least a little bit. She's not acting in this fucking movie. She's a goddamn plank of wood. She has no facial expressions whatsoever from start to finish.
It's more just... I don't even know. Because I agree, she doesn't have an awful lot of facial expressions. But then again, she doesn't have a chance to because she's not in this.
No, she's not. Right, I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. We'll run quickly through the cast, like we would in a Chop Thumbs decks, but we're not making cards. There's not enough of these. There's not enough character in any of these characters to make a fucking interesting card out of them. As you said when we were talking about this the other day, what the fuck are the categories going to be?
I think that even if there was going to be categories, it would be
Like,
dull
can
shit.
Can we name any?
Well, I think it would be dull, generic shit. I
But
think it would be
strengths.
fighting.
But you don't see anybody fight.
You see Paul
You see
training.
like
You see
three
Paul
people
fight.
fight.
You see Duncan. Well, that's the thing. It's like the generic categories won't even work.
No, so you can't really do fighting because Jessica seems like she can fight but doesn't. Like she seems like she's got because at the end she's like holding a needle to the guy's neck and it seems
Yeah.
like she's trained but she
Would using
doesn't
the
fight.
voice count as fighting though?
Possibly. You'd have to take that into ability. There's magic in this. There's straight magic in this movie.
Yeah, the voice is magic.
Oh, that and
Right.
the futures. You can see the future.
Yeah, that's the melange though.
Wait, but it's magic. That's not a physical ability that is based in any sort of reality. Like if humans find the right drug, we're not going to see what happens 10 years in the future. That's just magic.
I don't know if I agree with that. Because I don't know if that counts as magic though, because that's one of the things that the drug can do. Like, would you say that the drug in Limitless?
Yep.
Is that magic?
Why?
Him becoming super smart?
But it just makes you smart. It burns you out as well.
Yeah, but is that by that logic though? Is that magic?
Why would that be magic?
Well, why is looking into the future magic? Because he's not casting a spell in order to do so.
But the ability to make you smart is possible. Like people take smart drugs right now.
Like what?
They microdose LSD, they microdose Adderall to speed up their thinking. That's what a lot of coders do. They
Okay.
speed up their thinking. The Limitless drug is just like an evolution of that. It's an exaggeration of the microdosing stuff that people already do for efficiency and focus.
Okay.
Whereas there is no amount of Adderall that you can shove into your neck that'll let you see 20 years in the future. That is Doctor Strange time stone powers.
I still think that within this universe though, I wouldn't class that as magic.
And I'm sure
I
they
would
wouldn't class it as magic
the
either.
voice
But
as
it
magic.
absolutely is magic. You see, the voice, I would argue that that's perhaps not magic.
For the fact that what, you could learn it.
Well, the fact that you can learn it and that we know that people can be controlled by sounds. Like you can broadcast sounds that make people vomit. You can broadcast sounds that make people feel sick. You can broadcast sounds that make people feel uneasy and paranoid. So we can artificially manufacture these sounds right now. I'm not certain that with sufficient training, I mean, it's nonsense. Again, it's an exaggeration, but it's an exaggeration on something that actually exists.
Okay. But I think I still wouldn't say it was magic. I just wouldn't, because at the same time, you've got mentats in this universe.
And exactly, and they're just
they-
limitless drugs. That's literally what they are. They're limitless drugs. They take that purple thing that stains the lips. An annoying exclusion for this movie, by the way. Nobody's got stained purple lips.
They don't talk about that.
They've got a weird lip tattoo, but they don't have the purple lips from the juice of Hoofier or whatever it is.
I can't remember.
But that's basically the limitless drug. It speeds up their mental thinking to make them human computers.
Sure, but that's not magic.
No, I wouldn't say that's magic.
I still just don't see the prescience as being magic, though. I think it's more just an effect of the actual taking the spice.
Well, here's what I would say. It wouldn't be magic if he saw 40,000 ways that things could go. That's just
He does.
evaluating every possible circumstance. No, he's nailing specific things that are going to happen. He's
Eh,
not seeing 40,000 branches and picking the most likely one. He's going, nope,
wait, are
that
we
happens in 6
talking
months.
book or movie here?
Movie.
So we're talking because that's the case in the book. He sees a bunch of different shit.
Exactly, but that is not the case in the movie. So it's magic in the movie.
Is it not? Because see, the thing with the movie visions that annoyed me,
Mhm.
I feel like they're very vague.
I don't know, they're quite specific.
You
He
think?
sees specific moments where they turn around and make. They don't tell you a lot. They're not very informative, but they
Yeah.
are specific. There's a difference there. In the next movie, we will see each and every one of those shots exactly as he saw them. We might not learn any more.
We don't know though if he could be having tons of visions off camera.
Oh well, but it's what's in the movies, what's real.
I mean, sure, sure. I don't
I
know.
think we
I think this movie it's the book beat for beat, and it misses out very little.
And I
So
would say that's a very bad thing. I don't think the Dune book is a particularly good book.
I disagree. I really enjoyed it.
I think it's got an incredible scope. I think it's super interesting. It's not very well paced. The book is now granted it's been 20 years since I read the book. You've read it much more recently, and I believe you've even read a couple of the follow-ups.
Yeah, I just finished the second book like a week ago.
But it is an old-fashioned book. Like it's written 40 years ago, and it feels like it was written 40 years ago.
Written 60 years ago.
Sure, it was written
Uh,
60 years ago, and it feels like it was
fucking.
written 60 years ago.
But I think the thing I noticed when reading the book, I'm not like a huge reader or anything, but every so often I do read a book and it does just sort of grab me.
Absolutely.
This was one of those books where it's like I would get to the next chapter and before you know it, I've read like 3 chapters ahead.
I think
I thought it was very readable.
I think the premise is very, very good. Like we all love sandworms and Dune and Arrakis and the Harkonnens. It's Romeo and Juliet in a
Uh,
weird way.
yeah, a bit.
Um,
Or it's about him becoming like I don't know, part of the fam.
yeah, but well, the Montagues and the Capulets are the fucking Harkonnens and the Atreides, and the Fremen are Mercutio. It's not important, but it's not a new or interesting storyline. It's the setting that's bloody interesting. It's the way he weaves in basically Islam religion into it. That's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the book itself is not that well written. Well written. There's a lot of filler. It's a big fucking book. It could be half the size it is and still get the shit done.
Oh yeah, of course. But I mean, I don't know. I think that's the thing that interested me was, and I think the story's pretty solid because it's a story that's been told a million times.
Exactly. It's not original. The story is fine.
No,
The story is
but
absolutely fine.
it's one
Apart
of
from the
those
bit where he
stories that
turns to God at
works.
the end. That's original.
Uh,
When at the end of
yeah,
the
he does.
romantic
He is a
wartime
bit.
story, he becomes God.
He's a bit OP at the end,
Yeah, a little bit.
and he's ridiculously OP the next book. As well,
But
but it's
there are several inconsistencies, and I think they're in the book. Again, it's been many years since I read it. I've tried reading it a couple of times in the last few years and not been able to get through it.
mm,
But there are a couple of points like the Fremen are the natives of Arrakis. No, they're not. They're 100% not. They're fucking humans. They are not native to this planet.
Yeah, no, because that's brought up. That's brought up how they like were like a weak people or something until they went to Arrakis, and then they had to become like total hardened like desert people.
Sure.
And that
But
is spoke, but I think, uh,
but in
yeah,
the
they're
movie they
not
keep
natives.
calling
Like
them natives, and they're not fucking natives.
I think that's
They
a
have just been this.
technicality. I think like yes,
Is
you're
it?
right, but it's
Like,
I think
are
they've been on that planet for so long,
really?
where
Because New Yorkers have been in New York for 400 years. Do we call them natives?
eh, no, I mean I think it's like it's comparing different things. You're comparing like humans that have like traveled across space and lived for thousands of years compared
They
to
travel across space.
us us on like a much smaller like scale.
Well, it's the exact same thing because they travelled across an ocean, not knowing if they would get to an end, and then took over the world that was there.
I
But how
I
did
feel like
humans
that's
get
like
to
just
Arrakis?
like being picky. I don't
Okay,
know. I
fair,
don't think that's
right?
a big
No, no,
thing.
fine. How did humans get to Arrakis?
Space travel.
How did we travel through space?
You don't need the melange to space travel.
They seem to hint that you
The
really do need it.
melange, the melange gives the pilots
You
the
have to stop calling
ability.
it the melange, by the way.
Why? What didn't you call it?
Well, no,
Just the
you're
space.
right. But every time you say it, I just see like the what is it?
The
Tom,
South Park.
the South Park one. It's best melange,
Right,
and
wait,
I
wait.
can't think of anything else.
Right, I'll just call it the space.
The
I'll just call it the
space.
space.
It's best melange. Oh, that's a fantastic episode of the South Park.
The Tom Brady shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one. But from what I believe, the space, like, see when you get the navigators for the
Yeah.
guild, they have so much space that it
Yeah.
allows them a certain level of prescience, much to like what Paul has, and it allows them to see like what path they can take traveling at light speed in the ships. So the space allows the ships to travel a lot quicker. So
I thought they
I
folded
think.
space.
Hmm?
I thought they folded space. I thought that's why travel was instantaneous.
Eh, shit, I could be wrong. I watched a video on it recently, and that was my understanding.
I'm under the impression the Spice Melange lets them fold space.
Well, it might let them fold space, and maybe they choose the right points or
Yeah, I think
something.
that might be it. Yeah.
That might be it. But it's they know the prescience lets them choose the correct points then, so they're
Sure.
not choosing a point that's a black hole or something. So
Sure.
I'm
I
guessing
mean,
years ago, thousands of years ago, they just travelled slowly, got to Arrakis, and then started getting the spice.
all right, okay. That's not mentioned in the movie.
No, no, that's the thing. This is shit that I've like looked up in my spare time.
And the movie is 2 hours 40 minutes long. They could have mentioned it. They
No,
could
no,
have
no.
had
Like,
one line.
dude, the movie. I think it's. You shouldn't watch this movie if you don't have any interest in Dune or haven't
I,
read it.
I have a lot of interest in June.
No, yeah, but I'm saying for like, see, for just like an actual, like a casual film watcher.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make
Like,
a
see if it
goddamn
was
bit of
just,
sense.
oh, let's go on a Friday night to see a movie. Let's see Dune. I don't think you'd enjoy it.
No,
I don't think you'd have a damn clue what's happening.
no. And here's my suggestion for this movie. Do you know how you could have made this movie 3 times better? Trim the last 45 minutes off it entirely. Just
The old
fucking get rid of
desert
it.
walking.
All the desert shit. All the desert shit. And just if you're going to make the movie 2 parts, make it an hour and 40 long and have it fight when the Harkonnens invade. Have that be the climax of the movie. Because the way this movie works just now, you have that 40 minutes from the end, and then it's 40 minutes of fucking boredom.
Yeah.
A guy weirdly shouting during a fight.
Oh,
Like a guy
yeah.
gorilla shouting during a fight.
I
It's
can't
real
remember his
fucking weird.
name.
Is it
I can't
Insane
remember.
Gorilla Man? It's
No, I
real
don't
fucking
think.
weird what he does. Here's the other thing about this movie. that I'm going to compare to the David Fincher one, and it's going to come off incredibly unfavourably. I'm not sure that the Harkonnens are the baddies in this movie. They're not shown to be particularly bad. Like in the first movie, they are fucking psychotic. Sting cannot act, but he cannot act in a real evil, sinister way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like
The Baron Harkonnen is revolting.
he's
There's like
like a real
paedophilia and
yeah. He's shown doing a lot of like nasty shit in the first
real
one.
fucking vile stuff. Whereas Stellan Skarsgård, it just seems like a fat man that floats.
He has a
He
mud
doesn't seem.
bath at one point.
He's very quiet. It doesn't seem particularly angry. He doesn't seem frothing at the mouth or anything. He's a bit like if you've ever watched The Godfather and the Marlon Brando when he's playing him old and he's sitting with the cotton balls in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's Stellan Skarsgård this entire movie.
I can't really remember him much in this movie.
He's not in it much, but he should be a big part of it. Beast Rabin is Dave Bautista, who is fine. He looks quite cool, but he's not in it very much, and he's only angry. He's not particularly evil.
No,
he
yeah,
just
you
seems
don't
angry
see.
and a
I
bit
don't think you
mad.
see them do. You maybe see a couple flashbacks of like the Harkonnens, like I don't know,
Well,
burning a
yes,
building or hitting somebody.
but do you?
Maybe
What you do see is the Fremen doing quite a lot of terrorist attacks.
popping up from the sand.
So
Yeah, we're kind of taking it on Zendaya's word, I guess.
yeah, we're
At the
absolutely
start.
taking it on Zendaya's word. We're also taking it on the word of Javier Bardem, the only Fremen with a Spanish accent. I don't know why they chose someone who has an incredibly clear accent to represent a group that does not have a goddamn accent. Everyone else in that group is American. And he's real Spanish. Am I wrong?
I mean, no, you're not wrong.
It's
I don't know.
fucking weird.
I'm not too annoyed by that.
It's pretty weird, man.
'Cause
When you
I
hear him
think-
speaking, you go, "Oh, you're not going to try at all."
Well,
All right.
I quite like Javier Bardem.
I like Javier Bardem a lot. I think
But-
he's great in a ton of movies. I think it's a weird casting to have one Spanish dude on a planet of people with American accents.
Well, that's the thing with this movie, though. Because this is one of those movies that is stacked. Like, the cast is stacked. There's like a bunch of famous people in this.
Right. Well, the first one had a bunch of famous people in it as well.
It did, but see the first one, I watched that and it's like I wasn't taken out of it by the cast
No,
necessarily.
You weren't. Right. Well,
I think
let's,
this movie though, you are taken out of it by the cast a bit.
yeah, a little bit. Right. Let's briefly run through the top 10 or the most the biggest cast members by IMDb standards.
Are you
Timothy
got
Chalamet.
IMDb up?
I do. Timothy Chalamet is Paul Atreides. I don't recognise him. I recognise the name. I wouldn't have recognised the actor if I'd walked past him in the street. I haven't seen what he'd been in. He is very dull in this goddamn movie. He's so boring. He is just emo as fuck. Like, if he was listening to My Chemical Romance on his fucking headset, on his Walkman, I would not be surprised. He is so goddamn dour. He doesn't smile this entire movie. Like, Kyle MacLachlan looked like he had a bit of fun to him. This
Yeah,
guy
I
is
think
so
there's
fucking
one
sad.
point I remember Timothy Chalamet smiling.
What is
And
it?
I think it's when he meets Duncan. He smiles at Duncan, and Duncan hugs him, and that's it. Can I quickly talk about one thing I didn't like about this movie?
What?
There's absolutely no chemistry or camaraderie between any of the characters.
No, it is real weird that none of these people
They
seem to
cut
like
that
each
shit out for everybody, though. I don't think anyone likes anyone.
No, the Fremen seem to be forced together by necessity. But you're right, they don't seem to care one shit when one of them dies. Like, they don't seem to care about each other at all, which is real weird. Do you know who genuinely seems like they care more than anyone else? It's probably the fucking Harkonnens. At least they seem to give a shit. Like, they're taking it personally, you know what I mean?
You think?
Well, they're getting... Because Dave Bautista is the only person in this goddamn movie that shows emotion. Jason Momoa does a bit. Duncan Idaho does a bit, but he's not in it much.
Oh no,
Dave
yeah, he
Bautista,
does definitely a bit.
a bit, but he's the only Atreides that does.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista at least seems pissed off and annoyed and, like, wants to take Arrakis back and irritated that the Empire made him give it up.
I'm going to be honest. I can barely remember Batista.
He's only in 10 seconds of it.
I can't remember that 10 seconds.
He's only in 10 seconds of it. Right, Rebecca Ferguson. I think Rebecca Ferguson's acting is fine. I think...
Is she?
She's Jessica.
Jessica, right. Okay.
I don't think she's in keeping with the rest of the characters, because all the other characters are going at, like, a level 2 and she's a level 8 in the emotion scales. Like, she is shaky and worried and fretful, and I don't mind her Atreides at all. Her Jessica at all. I think her Jessica's fine.
I think I disagree.
I would do with a lot less of her. She's in a lot of this goddamn movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think she is like a main character in the book, though.
Sure.
She's in a lot of the book.
She's almost the main character of this movie.
To be fair, I think she's almost the main character of the book.
Alright, sure.
Like, but I think my issue with her Jessica, though, was...
She does not seem powerful or commanding in any way.
Oh, no, she doesn't really. But
the last one did, but this one does not.
But also, whenever she cries a lot, like she's just going through a full-on breakdown.
Yeah.
This whole movie. And isn't that the point of the Bene Gesserit, though? Like, to be fair, every time she walked in a room or whatever, she was like stone cold.
Yes, but she's also not a very good Bene Gesserit.
In what sense? Like, just hiding the emotions and stuff?
Well, she had a child that she wasn't supposed to. Paul's being hidden for the Bene Gesserits. If you don't understand, Jane, the Bene Gesserits are a sort of semi-religious nun order that are trying to create the Kwisatz Haderach, who's basically God, who's basically the human form of God, and they're doing it through a lot of interbreeding. So Jessica, I think, technically in the book, is a Harkonnen niece.
I think she's the Baron's daughter.
Is it the Baron's daughter? Yeah.
I think so.
So she's supposed to bring the bloodlines together. She's supposed to have a daughter that would then marry Beast Raban, who is Dave Bautista in this movie. So, no, she's a niece, because otherwise it would be his granddaughter marrying his son. Something like that. Anyway, doesn't matter. All the families are interbred. The whole fucking elite class is just one family, essentially. Like, the Emperor's like a cousin.
Yeah.
They call it they don't call it the ruling class. They call it something in the...
Oh, I can't mind.
Nah, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's like the Landshead or something.
Oh no, you talking about the Landsrad?
Yeah, the Landsrad.
Oh no, I think the I guess that is like the elite class. That's like all the world leaders, right?
Yeah, because they each own a world.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's like a big council.
Yeah, the Landsrad. Yeah. But it's the way the House of Lords is. Or something similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Landsrad are all, from what I recall from the book, they're basically all cousins or married to each other. Very inbred. But anyway, Jessica is not a good Bene Gesserit because she immediately disobeyed her training when she was sent to Duke Leto Atreides and had a son with him because he wanted to have a son.
Yes.
She was only supposed to provide a daughter. So, yes, she is emotional in a way that she should not technically be, and that she was not portrayed in the 80s movie. But by the same token, You're not a good Bene Gesserit. Like, I'm glad someone was trying to portray some form of emotion in this movie.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
Oscar Isaac, Duke Leto Atreides, betrays no emotion this entire goddamn movie. He feels like he's on the most severe amount of antipsychotic or antidepressants. He is a flat nothing this entire goddamn movie. Even when like he gets stunned and a tooth pull, poison toothpick in his head, and his wife is taken by the doctor. They don't explain why the doctor betrays him in this movie. I find insane that they didn't have the same
think
30 seconds in this movie as they did
yeah.
in the previous one, where they went, "They've got my wife."
I think he did say that to when he's speaking to Duke Leto when he's like paralyzed.
I think you were thinking of the last movie, not this one.
No, I'm positive. I'm
All right,
positive he says like it's the only way I can get my wife back, and that's it though.
fine,
There's no
okay.
like
It doesn't leave a big impact on you to explain the
no,
situation.
because I don't think there is a meeting of like the Doctor and the Baron. I don't think there's a scene of that.
I can't remember. How does the doctor die this time?
The Baron kills him.
Oh, so that's the meeting.
No, but I mean a meeting beforehand.
Oh, yeah, but they don't do that in the previous movie either, do they?
Did they not?
Don't think so.
I thought they did.
No, it's just that the guy explains it really well, and you understand the context.
Mm-hmm.
You will have a chance to kill a man. He died last week, by the way, that actor.
What actor?
The guy who's the doctor in the 80s movie. Hal from Quantum Leap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he passed a couple of days ago.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was 86, he had a good innings. But sad, he was a good actor, I liked him. But Duke Leto Atreides in this goddamn movie has zero emotions from start to finish. I don't care that he died.
Mm.
And the death scene is just shit. Like, in the first movie, when the Baron Harkonnen survives the poison gas attack, it is such a weird, like, great scene where he's like letting off steam out of his various events and flying up to the ceiling going, "I'm alive! I'm alive!" and like screaming and spit flying out his mouth, and it's so visceral. And in this one, they just go in the next day and he's floating up in the ceiling in a little ball, and he never makes a sound.
I didn't get that.
I don't get it
when the
either.
gas just go up and he'd inhale it.
Yeah, I would have thought so, but apparently
But
not.
I did kind of giggle at him. He's like fucking fetal positioning out just at the top of a high ceiling.
It's so
for
weird.
24 hours.
Yeah, that like he seems to have no power or animus or drive or impetus or energy or anything.
I
He's
love
just
the
a
idea of the
blob floating
guards
around.
being fucking shit scared. They'll be like, should we go in? And it's like, get another hour.
Oh, but also
Get a
put
wee
a
bit
gas
longer.
mask, man.
Yeah.
You don't have this technology. It's 10,000 BC. You don't have gas mask technology. Anyway, it doesn't fucking matter. He's incredibly flat. Oscar Isaac, great actor in a lot of stuff. Not the Star Wars. He's terrible, but and other stuff. But he is so fucking flat in this movie. It's depressing. Jason Momoa is absolutely fine. I don't mind his Duncan Idaho. I think his death scene's weird.
And like the way that he gets stabbed and just kind of keeps on going, and then gets stabbed again, and then keeps on going.
Yeah, basically
and then
manhandles like a dozen Sardaukar.
Yeah.
Sardaukar, by the way, not interested in this movie. They're constantly lowering from above on lines. I don't know why wire rope is such a key military technology in this future.
Yeah, I'm positive they have like
jetpacks.
Like, not even just jetpacks, but like boots where you can turn the boots on and you can float down.
Yeah, well, the Baron has it. But
yeah,
they're constantly zipping down on like wires. It's fucking weird.
They are. No, The thing is, the Sardok or however the fuck you pronounce it.
Sadukar.
What?
Sadukar.
Sadukar.
Mm.
I mean, they're fine. They are barely in it again.
No. No. Mistake.
You
They're
think?
in it quite a lot.
How?
You just don't recognise them because the production design has made their troops almost indistinguishable from the Harkonnen ones. The Sadukar are a big part of them fighting that battle. Like the majority of the troops on the ground that you see are Sadukar, not
Uh,
Harkonnen. But the
yeah,
Harkonnen
sure.
and the Harkonnen and the Sadukar look so goddamn identical in this movie that you can't tell which is which.
No, I mean, yeah, sure, but it's like the Sadukar are in what,
Weird that
like,
you're struggling with this. I've said it about 9 times.
I know, yeah. Anyway, they're in like the middle fight, and then are they chasing them at the end, or is that?
Yeah, but it's hard to tell because they look exact same.
Alright. Yeah,
The
I mean
civil,
they're in both of the two fights that happen in this movie,
well,
but
there's a
they're still not in it all that much.
there's a weird thing in that the still suits the Fremen are wearing, the armor the Sadukar are wearing, the armor the Harkonnen troops are wearing, and the armor that the Atreides are wearing are all pretty goddamn similar. And when everyone's covered in dust and it's a bit foggy, you cannot tell who's fighting who. Like, there's a lot of scenes in this movie, where it's impossible to tell who is fighting who. Like, are the Fremen popping up and stabbing people? I can't tell. Is that an Atreides soldier? Maybe. Is that a Harkonnen fighting him? Maybe. It might be a Sadukar.
Yeah, they've
Whereas in
done
the
this
first,
thing. Sorry.
no,
Go.
if we're in the first movie and in the books as well, they're very distinctive armors because it's basically Space Marines. It's basically Warhammer 40k is what came from Dune. But they're extremely distinctive, and in the first movie they're very distinctive. You can tell which troops are which. In this movie, it's all grey, black rubber, and it's
Well, that's what I
kind
was
of
going to
shit
say.
looking.
They've went with the sort of sci-fi movie thing of just sort of having like, I don't know, like fucking paintball plastic looking armor.
Yeah, they went for
You know?
what would be functional spec ops wear in 10,000 years. And
But
all right, fine, but that's not interesting to look at, and you're making a fucking visual medium.
no, I wouldn't be against them though. Just having sort of that. Yeah, it's not practical whatsoever, but looks sick.
The thing with putting something 10,000 years in the future is it doesn't have to be practical. There are no force shields in this goddamn movie. They're in for 10 seconds at the start. Look okay, but honestly, I kind of like the chunky 80s ones.
I like the chunky 80s ones too.
Do you know what I mean? Like, these ones look more realistic, but they're not fun, and they never come up again. They're never mentioned again. None of the troops seem to have them. We never see any flare when people get shot. For some reason, we're almost entirely knife based, these fights, and I have no fucking idea why. I know that you can't use lasers on these suits because it's in the thing of the book it like sets off an atomic explosion or something.
Yeah, it's like a reaction.
But one, I'm sure the Harkonnens or the Sadukar would send in a couple of suicide bombers if that was a thing. Like sending a guy with a laser pistol and you can blow up a load of shit. There's no way anybody would use those shields if that was a goddamn thing. That's like walking around with dynamite strapped all over your body and everyone's walking around with a shotgun. Nobody would do that.
I know
So
it
I
doesn't make a it
I
doesn't make an
understand
awful
that's a
lot of
thing in the book,
sense.
but don't
Yeah.
do that. It doesn't work. It was a stupid thing in the book. It's a fucking stupid thing in the movies. And why not just use guns? Why not just use a minigun? It might not kill them, but someone getting hit with 10,000 rounds a minute isn't doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's one thing that I like. I've been sort of like, I don't know, defending Dune here. But yeah, I don't understand why shooting a laser at these shields is like actually dropping a nuclear bomb.
No, they shoot
And
lasers later on.
it's
In the movie, they shoot lasers when they're escaping in the craft. The only thing that's probably likely to have a fucking energy shield doesn't go
yeah.
up like a bomb. So what are we doing? Are we going with this moronic atomic bomb laser thing, or are we not? If we're not, fine. Don't fucking mention it. Use lasers or just guns. And if we are going with it, it's moronic, but then don't shoot any lasers at all.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking weird. Anyway, Jason Momoa is fine. His death scene's a little weird, but
I thought it was alright. It was
it's
like,
fine.
yeah.
It's a bit weird. Like, he did not need to sacrifice himself. It's weird that he just doesn't go through the door. Like, I'm not sure he's saving any time or letting them escape quicker.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think this is also an issue in the book. It's the sort of thing it didn't need to happen.
Yeah, okay.
But it does. So
It does happen.
whatever.
Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. I know this motherfucker can act. I've seen him in a ton of shit. He doesn't act in this movie. He's also in it for maybe 90 seconds full pelt. And every one of those seconds are just dull as fuck. He's not evil, he seems bored. We'll move on. IMDb says the next one is Stephen McKinley Henderson as Thufir Howat. I don't remember Thufir in this movie.
He's in it for 30 seconds again. He's the Mentat, right?
I don't remember. Yes, I know who Thufir is, but I don't remember him in this movie. The only thing I remember of the Mentats is, where's the fucking purple stains? That's it. I don't remember.
No, he gives a bit of exposition when they get to Arrakis. And that's about it.
Makes zero impact. Who gives a shit? Stephen McKinley Henderson, I hope this is not your big break.
He's got a whole plot in the book, though, where he gets captured by the Baron and ends up kind of working for the Baron and stuff.
Yeah.
After his own Mentat dies.
I've just clicked on Stephen McKinley Henderson. It's not his big break. I know that actor very well. I just didn't know his name. I had forgotten that you were in this goddamn movie. That's not a good sign. Josh Brolin is Gurney Halleck. I don't like Gurney Halleck in this fucking movie. He seems like a cock.
He's just in a bad mood.
But he's constantly in a bad mood.
Yeah.
There is no indication that he has ever not been in a bad mood. Josh Brolin can act. He's not acting in this movie. Again, super fucking flat. Javier Bardem, it's weird that he's the only Spanish Freeman. Never mind. Fucking move it on. Sharon Duncan Brewster is Dr. Liet Kynes.
I didn't mind.
Fucking
I didn't
remember
mind
this.
her.
Who the fuck is Dr. Liet Kynes? Oh,
she's the one that dies at the end.
Yeah, she's the one that's been there studying the Freeman.
Yeah, so she's she a Freeman or no?
She is in the first film. She is, I think, in the book. In the book, I think she's not born there, but she's been inducted into the Freeman clans.
Yeah, because she's like the sort of liaison.
Also, it's a dude, I think, in the book.
Yeah, there's a gender swap.
Which I don't give a shit about. I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
It's an odd gender swap.
But she's kind of like the liaison between the Freemen and like their tradies.
Yeah, well, she's the. It's not the adjudicator, but she's like the judge
sort of like that
of whether the handover has been fair and clean. I think there's a small moment in this that genuinely annoys me that the first movie fixes now, and I think this is because Denis Villeneuve has copied the book exactly, because I think this is how it happened in the book. I may be wrong.
No.
But when they're going over to see the Dune harvesters, the spice harvesters, and I think in the book and this, it's that the spice collector for when the worm comings, like the carry-all, something breaks and it can't carry them out. So they land their skimmer craft, take the crew out, and it's like a nice moment for the Atreides, because you're like, fuck the money, I'm going to save the men. and you say, "Oh, that's
Yeah,
the
paints
difference
them in a good
between."
light.
Paints them in a good light that they take the men over the cash. It's a very good moment, and they do the
Yeah.
same one. They do the same thing in this movie, but they copy the book, and the carryall just has a broken clasp. In the first movie, the Harkonnen like insurgents that they've left on the planet have rocketed the carryall, and the carryall's gone. It's not going to pick them up. They're trying to find another one to send over to pick up the harvester.
Oh, is that how it happens?
I believe that's right. In the first movie, it's the Harkonnens have nuked the carryall. Not nuked, but
Blown it
destroyed the
up
carryall.
so it
Yeah.
can't escape.
Whereas this
Eh.
movie, it's just a clasp that doesn't work. Why the fuck doesn't the carryall just land? Why didn't you just go, the carryall, you're 500 times the size that we are, and you're there, you're on top of them right now. Just lower down a bit and let the boys jump on top.
Yeah, that's a point. That's a
It's
point.
it's so fucking weird that you go, carryall, you're slightly not working. Fuck off out of here. We're going to save these boys from these medium-sized worms. The worms in this movie are not impressive. We'll come to that. It's one of my biggest.
Okay.
It's one of my biggest annoyances with this goddamn movie. Chang Chen is Dr. Wellington Yu. He makes no impact on this movie. I don't give a shit. I'd forgotten he was Asian and that he was not the guy from the first movie. I don't care.
Okay.
Dave Bautista as Beast Raban is alright. It's weird that Fade's not in it.
That's the
It's just,
thing, man.
it's just Beast.
He must be like a reveal in the next movie. I've got a feeling someone real famous is going to be playing him.
Sure, but
I don't know who, but I agree he should be in this movie.
It's going to end up being Jared fucking Leto, isn't it?
Oh. It could be, honestly. Was he not in Blade Runner as well?
No, was
Was
he?
he not in Blade Runner 2049?
I can't remember.
I've not seen it. I just thought he was in it.
No, the guy for Blade Runner is Drive.
Yeah, no, I know it's Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, that's the name I'm looking for.
No,
He might
Jared
be.
Leto is
Oh,
in
he
it.
is. He's one of the. He's one. Yes, he is. He's the fucked up inventor, I think.
So he's worked with Denis Villeneuve before.
That's not a good sign. David Dasmalchian is in this. I can't remember what his character is or what he does.
Who?
The polka dot man from the Suicide Squad. He's also one of the gang of the Ant-Man criminal friends.
What's his name?
David Dasmalchian. Maybe Dalmatian. I've no idea.
Oh, he's the Baron's mentat.
Oh, not interesting. Nobody gives a shit. Also, he's dead, I think.
Yeah, he dies in the poison attack.
Yep, Zendaya's in this, makes zero impact. I couldn't tell you what her voice sounds like based on this movie. And nobody else fucking matters. That's it. You've been through every character that has more than 2 lines. And some of them don't even have 2 lines.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of there's not an awful lot of talking. There's an awful lot of like scene
there's a lot of looking at windows.
scenery shots.
There's a lot of vistas.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of shit happening.
There's an awful lot of visions.
Well, I've got several problems with this movie. First of all, he's weirdly chosen to have a lot of the costuming to be very similar across everybody. So it makes it quite hard to differentiate groups. We've been through that. Whatever. Here's the other thing. He's chosen like visual things that makes no fucking sense. I don't know why hot air balloons are back in the year 10,000 or why they're attached to every goddamn thing. I've no idea why that's a thing. I've no idea why we've decided when we can fly through space. I have no idea why we've decided that fucking we require hot air balloons attached to everything. I don't see the benefit. But whatever. The city looks shit. I mean, the city didn't look great in the last one, but at least you didn't see it much.
Coruscant, I thought. like
In
from
this
Star
movie?
Wars. Hmm?
In this movie? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Mate, it did. The fucking house where they stayed looked like a Jedi temple.
You are out of your goddamn mind.
No, I honestly thought it looked like Coruscant.
I think you're out of your goddamn mind. I think it looks like Tatooine, but I do
Yeah,
not think it looks
alright,
like Coruscant.
right, sure. Coruscant with like a layer of dust and sand.
It's also everything's a bungalow. Like the only
Eh,
tall building is the family mansion. Everything else is all one level flat. It's not impressive either way. It's not a cool or interesting looking city. In any
no,
way,
okay,
it's
when I
got
read
four
the
plum
book,
trees in it that for some reason the Harkonnens burn. I still don't understand that. Like they've been growing there the entire time during Harkonnen rule. I don't know why they decided to burn them during the invasion.
wait, look at this, man. I'm sending this picture over to you now.
Uh huh.
Shit, wait. I'm using a trackpad.
Everything's just less fucking cool.
You telling me that doesn't look like the Jedi Temple?
I don't think that does look particularly like the Jedi Temple. I think it looks like Tatooine.
Wait, I'm getting a picture of the Jedi Temple. The Jedi Temple does have like spires.
Well, yeah, it's yeah, it's a skyscraper. Because all the Coruscant skyscrapers. Yeah.
Mate, they
Do you
look
mean
so
and it's?
similar.
Do you mean that and it's got flat sides?
Mate, it's got flat sides and it's smooth and it's just like a big trapezoid.
Oh my god. Fine. But by the same logic, you could say it looks exactly like a sandcrawler.
Yeah, mate, high key does. I'd
Like
agree with that.
everything's brown. It's not interesting to look at. I still don't understand why they burned the trees, even though we had a 10-minute conversation about the goddamn trees. I don't understand why there's not like I fundamentally don't understand why water is such an issue on Dune. Like, is there a good reason for it?
Eh,
Because we have space travel. We could just go up and get a comet and have 400 million tons of water on tap.
I mean, I think it's kind of like there's people on the planet or whatever like hoarding water and stuff. Because there is water on Dune.
Do you think it's just that Frank Herbert didn't understand that there was a possibility that if people space travelled, they would bring some fucking water with them? Did you see the size of the goddamn guild ship? You could have fitted the moon in there.
I mean, no, I don't know if it's as much to do with like he didn't think they'd bring water with them, but
You just thought everyone was going to live in a dusty shithole. The richest planet in the entire universe, by the way. By far and away the richest planet in the universe. But it's just a dusty shithole that everyone's going to be dry and parched in, and nobody's ever going to think to import water. Like, have you seen Abu Dhabi? It's the exact same thing, and it is the most. They've got oil, they've got the spice melange, and Abu Dhabi is like ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, but see by that metaphor, isn't there? There's also a lot of like poverty-stricken people and lower-class people in those areas or in Abu
Absolutely,
Dhabi.
and that could be the
So
Fremen.
yeah,
But
is this like a
this is not.
metaphor he's going for?
But that's not the Fremen city. That's the controlling, occupying force city. Why is it a shithole? Why have the Harkonnens spent the last 80 years living in a dump?
I don't think they mind it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You spend your
I mean,
entire life
the
on this.
Harkonnens are like nasty and gross and that, and bad
Not
people.
in this movie, they're not. In the first movie, sure, they don't care what it looks like as long as there's lots of slender young boys for them to rape. Sure. In this movie, they just seem like regular people.
But Harkonnen sympathizer, man.
In this movie, why not? The Atreides do not seem to have the management skills to run this. Here's the thing, right? How important is the space melange in this universe?
Pretty, I guess. I don't know.
Is it pretty important, or is it the
What?
most important substance in the universe?
Yeah.
It's
Well, oh
healthcare.
yeah, yeah. It's
It's
the
healthcare. It's space travel. It is intelligence. We
it's
can't use.
everything.
I don't think they use computers particularly, and I think a reason for that is one, Frank Herbert didn't really see it, And then 2 in the later books, he kind of goes, "Oh no, it's because they had a big like AI war, and
Yeah, I've heard about that.
now nobody's allowed computers." But
Yeah, no one
it's
trusts computers.
it's 100% because he did not see computers coming in the first book. So whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the most important thing going. Nothing works without the spice. And how many Fremen are there? 100,000, as opposed to trillions of other humans around the universe that all need the spice. You don't think they would have just exterminated the Fremen? Look what America's done in the last 20 years for fucking oil.
Well, I mean, is that not what's happening though? With the
But no.
Harkonnens?
Well, the Harkonnens could have exterminated them.
But isn't that the sort of thing though? They have been like total brutalizing them, but then because the Fremen are like the best fighters in the galaxy, like they're better than the
Shit.
Sardaukar.
No, they're not.
They are.
No. I'm sure in the book they are. In reality, they're fucking not. They
What makes you
don't.
say that?
Lady Jessica outfoxes one of them. Paul kills one, and he is not the Kwisatz Haderach yet. He's just a dude. He's not even melanged up.
I mean,
They're
this is the
constantly
thing
getting
though.
exterminated by Harkonnens.
This is the thing. They're basically in the book or whatever. They basically say the Atreides have like the best soldiers, and then they're like the Fremen are like the next best, and then it's everyone else. Then you got like the Sardaukar and everything.
Yet they get absolutely tooled by the Harkonnens and the Sardaukar. Like, the Atreides in this movie don't even put up a fucking... It's like Afghanistan. Like, the instant the invading force came, ISIS came over the hill, everyone just went, aye, alright, we're dead then. Nobody fights in this goddamn movie. Everyone gets blown up instantly.
Yeah, I
For
don't
having
remember
the
seeing
best...
Gurney fight.
For having the best soldiers, god damn, they're taken unawares almost fucking instantly.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
And they just get stomped. They get fucking steamrollered. Like, this is not a fight, it's a goddamn slaughter. The only person that puts up any struggle whatsoever is Duncan Idaho.
Yeah, that's the reason that's presented as to why Paul could beat that guy though. Is because he had the training of Duncan and Gurney.
Sure. But he is
But this is
also
this is more of
80
a flaw
pounds
with the
soaking goddamn
actual
wet.
story or with the source material,
It's also a flaw with the casting. You've cast a
opposed to the
stick thin
movie.
young boy. I realise he's probably in his mid-20s, but he looks 14.
Oh no, yeah, I've seen this complaint as well.
He is
And
not physically intimidating. Kyle
nah, he's not.
MacLachlan was at least like a fit young man when he did it. Timothy Chalamet, I could beat up Timothy Chalamet. I'm not intimidated by this fucker. And to be 100% clear to anyone that listens to that, I'm an incredibly fat fuck. I'm short as well. And I'm pretty sure I could kick his ass.
I
He
mean,
looks like a
yeah.
strong breath of wind would blow him over. I
He's a
do not
bit like
believe. He's got the same physique as Zendaya.
yeah, I think this is a fair point. I'm not disagreeing.
Now, anyway,
But this is like
the movie's
what
too long. It's too fucking boring. Nothing happens in this goddamn movie. They should have chopped it up differently. It's weird that we have the high point 45 minutes from the end and then nothing happens for the next 40 minutes. And I'll tell you what else is weird. It's fucking weird that the worms are not cool in this movie. We only see one, but that's not true. We only properly see one, and it's got a big needle teeth, and it just doesn't look that interesting. It does a weird bow thing to him, and it's...
what do you mean bow?
Well, like it hovers up and then faces them. Like it could just lean over and eat them. They're only 3 feet away. Like, I don't believe that it's outfoxed by the idea they're now on a slight... because they're 3 feet onto a rock, they're ungettable. It's a 200-foot high worm.
Wait, it's
Like,
it's
it could lean
Flora's
over.
lava rules. It's Flora's
Fucking
lava
Flora's.
rules.
It's super
As soon
weird.
as you're on the rock.
It just rears up and then, like, looks at him with its mouth and then, like, dips. And you're like, just lean over, mate. You had them. Also, this worm is so... this goes into, like... why is this worm eating this person? It cannot be getting... This is like me eating a fly. I am not getting any nutritional requirements from this.
Yeah, but I mean, like
What
the
are these
worms
worms eating?
they eat anything that's on the sand.
But it takes them like presumably vast amounts of energy to constantly be chewing their way through the sand.
They might be getting like I don't know, like bacteria and shit in the sand.
That
I
well,
don't know,
that
kind of like a krill idea.
exactly. But when was the last time you saw a blue whale go human hunting?
Yeah, no, sure, but like I think this is again, it's an issue with the actual source material.
Absolutely. I'm just saying it makes
Aye,
no goddamn sense. And I wish one line going, there are millions of little microbes in the soil that the worms are constantly searching out, but they'll take bigger prey when they can get it. That's all it would have taken. It's a line. But
I
it makes
mean,
no goddamn sense
sure.
that we're hunting vibration as its primary food source.
I don't think that's strictly said either, though.
But it's implied, because otherwise why is it
Maybe
hunting?
but it could be argued that what you just said is implied, though. That it's the bacteria in the sand and it'll take anything bigger as well.
It's 100% not implied because they never mention the word bacteria.
Yeah, but they also never say that the people are its primary food source.
But they say that it hits anything that moves. Let's no go fucking into it. The worms are not impressive. The worms were far bigger and cooler in the first movie. They're not cool in this movie. And they're super not cool because at the end of this movie, the Fremen are just using them like taxis. They're just calling up worms and then hopping on the back of them and then just riding them about. In the first movie, and now I think in the book that is technically how the Fremen use worms. I would argue that it's a
Yeah.
moronic way to use worms. In the first movie, you do it going to war. It's your war elephant. It's the thing you get. It's your elephant from Lord of the Rings. It's the giant monster that you get on the back of to go to war. You don't hop to the shops in it. But at the end of this movie, they're just nipping round the corner. You don't think that if they were doing that, the Harkonnens would at some point went, "Fuck is this?"
Wait, how do you know he's nipping round the corner, though?
Because they're so cash about it. Like the
Yeah,
worm's
man.
not fully out of the ground; it's just a little bit out of the ground, and they're just riding it like it's a fucking horse. They're not. It's just in
He
the
could have been
background.
going like miles, though.
Sure, but it's in the background. It's in the background of the fucking scene. There's a dude just floating past in the
Uh,
back of a worm.
I don't think that's fair. Like
What?
it's zoom. It's not in the background. The camera specifically looks at him.
Yeah, but it's in the background of Paul and the other ones coming through like a gap.
Yeah, it's and then the camera goes and you see the guy riding on the worm once it like focuses on him.
Sure, it focuses on him. It just doesn't stop him from being in the goddamn background.
It's not in the background though.
I guess. It's not important. They're just hopping around in them. It's fucking weird.
I don't have an issue with that
Why aren't we
personally.
using like Dune buggies? How fast are these fucking things? Why aren't we flying?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I don't think there's mention of the Freeman having like the Thopters or whatever, or
Really?
using them. Yeah,
They can
honestly,
steal
I don't
one?
get it.
I know, but they can steal one in the hundreds of years that they've been
Well,
subjugated as the
that's the thing. They
natives.
did steal some, because mind that's how they get away from it. Once Duncan sacrifices himself, they hop in a Thopter.
Yeah, but
Sure, it
why
might
aren't they
be
fucking
Liet
using them?
Kynes. Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb.
So fucking stupid. There's hot air balloons everywhere. Why aren't we hot air ballooning around? Pretty much the worst way to get about a desert is walking on the surface. Almost any other option is better. Dirt bikes aren't a thing. Like, seriously, how fast are these worms? Are they 60 miles an hour fast? Because otherwise,
Yeah,
just get a motorbike. They're not that fast. We're constantly outrunning them.
I don't know if you're outrunning them,
They outrun them in
or
this
if you're
movie.
just getting to rock before they can get to you.
But you've outran them to rock.
Yeah, but that's all dependent on the distance.
Sure, but how?
Like you could outrun Usain Bolt half a meter if he's 100 meters behind you.
Fine. Granted. How far away are they before we start? If we are running 100 metres to rock, how far away are we before we realise a worm is here? I am arguing we're not more than 200 metres.
I've got no idea.
But I'm just saying we're not that far. So say it's 5 times further than we're running. It's 5 times as fast as a human can run. Okay, that's like 25 miles an hour. Get a fucking motorbike.
Nah, it's gotta be faster than that.
It's 50 miles an hour. Get a slightly faster motorbike. Get a sand speeder. Luke Skywalker had one. Just floated above. We've got repulsor technology. All the ships float.
Yeah, I wonder if that would work.
I fucking hate this movie. I hate this goddamn movie. It looks pretty. It looks real pretty. Nobody can act in it. The plot makes no goddamn sense. It's so weirdly paced. It's badly directed. Didn't even know if he makes things look so pretty, but he cannot direct stuff. Arrival made me more angry than almost any other movie I saw that year. I hate this guy. I hate him.
I was going to watch Arrival the other day when I was sick.
I fucking hate that movie.
With my flatmate, and he was like, "I've seen it, Borefest." I was like,
It's
"Okay."
not. But here's the thing. Arrival is, again, very cool looking. It makes no fucking sense. Not a single part of it, for a single second, makes any goddamn sense. Aliens are sophisticated enough to fly across space, land on Earth, but have no way of talking to us, and it takes weeks for a human woman to figure out how to talk to them. That's the conceit of that movie. It's so fucking stupid.
Wait, so they just land there and do nothing?
They land there, they kind of hover there in giant eggs, and they're like squid aliens, and they can't speak to humans. They're just floating about in water. Then someone blows, like a terrorist blows one of them up, and she finally figures out how to talk to them. And they go, "Oh, well, the reason we're here is because we need humanity's help. We can see the future, and we need your help. In like 1,000 years, we will be fighting a great war with someone else, and humanity needs to be brought up to speed to help us. It's only with your help that we could hope to defeat them."
Okay.
You can see the future, but you didn't see someone blowing you up. And they can see the. And the worst part of this movie is, you know how in Wonder Woman 1984, there's like a huge rape thing that just nobody addresses.
Yes.
And it's appalling.
Yeah.
Like, Wonder Woman just rapes a dude. Repeatedly. Trevor,
Yeah,
Trevor, whatever his name is he's in a random body. He's taken over a random body, but it's a dude's body. No need for it, by the way. The wishing stone could have just made a brand new body for him, but instead it puts him in a dude's body, and she has sex with him several times. She puts him in physical danger, near-death experiences. There's every chance that Trevor...
Guy could die.
Steve Trevor's?
That sounds right.
I can't fucking remember, it doesn't matter. She puts him in mortal danger again and again and again and again and again. She also just rapes the shit out of him. Because there's no difference between that and you roofing someone and raping them. It's the exact same thing.
It's yeah. It is really
It's
bad.
just a rape.
It's
right?
awful. It's
So there's the same thing in Arrival. It's not rape though. I can't remember who the actress is. But
Superman, Lois Lane. It's her, right?
Yes, it is. The redhead.
Fuck, what is her name?
Amy
Adams. Yeah.
She's married to Jeremy Renner. And she gets told the future. They have a child, and let's like skips ahead 10 years. They have a child who I think gets leukemia and dies an incredibly slow, painful death. And Jeremy Renner goes, "Oh, it's a shame." He goes, "Well, I knew that was going to happen, of course, because I knew that our child was going to die." And Jeremy Renner's like, "What?"
Wait, she says that?
Yeah, she knows. She's been told that they're going to have a baby. She's not pregnant when she gets told, but she still chooses to have the baby, raise it for 5 years or 7 years, and then watch it die of a terminal disease.
Oh.
And Jeremy Renner's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "But the love that we had for the time together is worth it." And you're like, "No, motherfucker. You're bringing someone into the world when you know they're gonna die painfully. This is a horrendous, horrific thing you're doing, Amy Adams. This is not a good thing. You're not a laudable person." Not only does this movie not make sense, this decision in particular is so morally reprehensible. You're bringing someone into the world just so you can play with them, and then they can suffer and die.
Yeah, that's a bit fucked up.
And that's all of Denis Villeneuve's movies. They look great. They make no fucking sense. Not a single second of them.
I think I'll give that one a miss. I really want to watch the Blade Runner one though. Just because it
Very pretty.
looks, yeah, it
I'm
looks
still not
sick.
sure it makes any more sense. Weirdly, Dave Bautista's in that one as well.
So he is, yeah. Well, I guess that like, you know,
Oh
you
my
get
god, I really hope
directors that
Dave's
have
not
their
Jared Leto.
actors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Batista must
Scorsese,
be
De
one of
Niro.
his. Yeah,
Scorsese,
exactly.
DiCaprio.
Yes. I guess that Batista must be one of his ones.
Sure. I really... Did Denis Villeneuve do the Bond where Batista's the bad guy?
No, I don't think so.
Mm. No, I can't remember. That again, that looked pretty and nothing made sense and it was not good. Spectre.
That was Spectre.
Yeah. Dynamic has not seen the new James Bond, No Time to Die.
That was
I
Sam
have seen
Mendes.
Sam Mendes. I have seen it. Fuck me, it could be a Denis Villeneuve movie. It was very long. There was lots of pretty
Wait.
scenery.
Sorry. See, before you get into this.
I'm not going to do the spoilers. I'm sorry that I spoiled a
No,
bit for you already.
I'm saying, what little time are we at?
Oh, we're only at like an hour.
No, it's not like an hour and a half.
No, because there was a big pause and then, yeah, we're going to have to cut all
Alright,
of that
okay.
out. Why?
I was just gonna say, like, if the episode's already like an hour and a half, do you want to get into another rant about another movie, or do you want to keep it as the Dune episode with a
Because
bit
there's
of a
not enough.
rival?
Well, there's not enough in the. You reckon this is a podcast?
I think it could be. I don't think there was an awful lot to be cut, or even if it is, like, I don't know, would get down to like 50 minutes.
Right, all right, I'll
If
tell
you
you
cut
what.
everything, you know what I mean?
Let's put an ending in, and then we can decide again. Right.
Okay.
So that's it. That's June, 2021.
Yes, June 2021.
It's not a good movie. It's a real bad movie. It's half a goddamn movie. It feels very Hobbitish, and that they've stretched a lot of shit out
Yeah.
for no particular
yeah.
reason. It's very long. Nothing much happens in it. It's real.
It's not an
real
awful lot of
brown.
fun.
It's not fun. There's not a moment. There's not one moment of fun in this. We went and watched it in the movie theaters, and we haven't watched the movie together in a long time. We went to watch it in the movie theaters, and afterwards, Dynamic came over to me and goes, "You're getting real animated," because I'm just sitting there in the chair with my arms flailing about, like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?"
Dude, yeah, there was a couple I looked over a couple times, like actual face palming.
I hate this fucking movie. It was such a relentlessly unpleasant grind of a goddamn movie.
Yeah. No, I got to the point where I did just want it to be done.
Oh, and we'll wrap this up. We'll end the podcast here. However, I'm just going to say before we go, fuck Hans Zimmer. Fuck him in the fucking face with a £20 sledgehammer. Fuck Christopher Nolan for giving Hans Zimmer a career. The soundtrack to this movie is so incredibly unpleasant throughout. I can't tell you one single memorable musical note, connotation, melody, harmony. Everything is just for 2 hours 40 fucking minutes.
I think the main issue I had with the sound of this movie
Is that Hans Zimmer's a talentless cunt?
Was way more to do with the fact it was so loud. It was uncomfortably loud.
I brought earplugs. I'm real old. I brought earplugs.
Yeah, you brought earplugs. I didn't bring earplugs, but it was
not my first rodeo, motherfucker.
But this is the first time I've ever been in the cinema where my ears were actually hurting.
You're getting old, bitch.
I guess. I don't know, man. It was fucking like it was just a loud ass movie, but not like like, you know, Heat's a loud movie,
Yes.
but it's loud in a cool way because it's
Yeah.
gunshots and cars and like I don't know, cool stuff's loud.
Here's
And
the
this,
thing.
it's not. It's just obnoxiously loud.
Well, here's the thing. We both know a bagpiper, right?
Hmm.
This is bagpipes, but it's not like the tune part of bagpipes. It's the 30 to 90 seconds at the start when they're blowing up and just going wah, 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 and getting all the air and shit through the system.
Yeah.
It's this part of bagpipes for an entire 2 hour 40 goddamn movie. Hans Zimmer is. I hate his shtick so much. Fuck this dude. Anyway, we'll end it there. Dynamic, thank you for joining me.
Right, pleasure as always.
Yeah, sure.
Nah.
Sure. I wish we'd seen a better movie.
There's no other like fucking movies out. What
Nah,
else
there's
is
not.
out?
Well, there's Chang-Chi. Well, we'll finish this off.
Aye, yeah, sorry.
Right,
Right.
okay. Much love, and we'll see you maybe next week.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.